Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining. Sunil here. Welcome to the session. Can you hear me? If yes, please type yes in the chat box if you can hear me. Thank you, Naresh. Thank you all for joining the demo session on DevOps with AWS. Let us stop the chat. Let us stop the chat. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your responses. Let us stop the chat. Okay. So welcome to the first day of this DevOps course. Let me start the session with my introduction. First, I'll give my introduction, and let's spend some time interaction with the participants. Participants, if you have any doubts, if you want to introduce yourself, you can raise your hand. We will have an interaction, and then we will get into the uh, plan for our today's session. Okay, so my name is Sunil Kopavarapu. I have overall 11 years of experience in the IT industry and 7 years of experience in online training. I started my career in Oracle applications platform. Then I have shifted to cloud and DevOps technologies. So this is about quick introduction about myself, and I am based out of Hyderabad. Okay, so this is about myself. Participants, if you want to have a talk, please raise your hand. Govindraj, good morning. How are you doing? You have any question? Okay. Prakash, good morning.
Yeah, hi Sunil. Very good morning.
How are you doing?
Doing great, Sunil.
Thank you.
Hope you're doing great.
Thank you very much, Prakash.
Yeah, and the thing
Yeah.
is, usually this is my second batch in this Logitech.
Mm-hmm.
What happens when we raise the hand? It takes so long time to get my place. So I thought of I will be getting in middle, and I raised my hand. But
Okay.
anyways, as I got my chance,
Good, good.
so I'm a IT professional with the experience of around 10 plus years. Currently I'm with like I'm from the career beginning onwards I am with banking sectors only. Earlier I was with JP Morgan, now with Wells. So I'm just planning to move out of this banking
Banking
culture.
domain.
Yeah, banking domain, and go into something like what we call clouding. So
Good.
and I'm purely into Linux system admin.
Okay.
So how do you
Linux
suggest?
system.
Yeah.
Okay, good, good. So you are a Linux administrator, Prakash, isn't it? Your experience is into Linux.
Yes.
So after having a good experience in Linux, you cannot get into developer track, isn't it? Because you are from a non-development background, isn't it,
Right.
Prakash?
Right.
So you want to, so as you, there is no option for you as we, the better option because you don't want to get into developer track. The next option, the best option, what is to get into the DevOps track. Okay, so because it's not DevOps is not into development mm, responsibility. It's all about coordination with the development team and the operations team. Anyways, you are from the operations team, Linux administration. You know how exactly how to manage the infrastructure. That will always add value to your DevOps skills. What you're learning now. Okay, so you're in the right track, Prakash. So upgrade to DevOps. Try for DevOps roles, and then it help you to shift your organization also.
Okay.
Okay. May I know this is your second course? May I know the first course what you have learned?
Ankit AWS.
Okay. When did you do that?
It's big. It's almost like 6 to 7 months.
Okay, 6 months before.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Good.
I'm not really sure if this question I can ask it to you, or I need
Yes.
to like ask admin.
No
So as
problem.
this is my second course, will I get any discount on in
Mm.
this course?
There is no discount, Prakash.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay then. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Sunil.
Thank you. Enjoy the learning.
Thank you.
Please drop your hand once you are done with your interaction. Good morning, Yogesh. Yogesh, I can see your hand raised. You are now allowed to unmute it. Okay. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, sir. Actually, my experience is tech support, and I wanted to switch in DevOps, but my experience is on and off. Like I did 2 years, then I left. Again, I joined 2 years. So is it like okay, sir, to join the like a DevOps, and will I be like getting roles in DevOps?
First thing, what is expected, the most important thing is the skills, the
Mm-hmm.
subject.
Okay.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
perfectly learn whatever we are learning. Okay, so it is DevOps. You have to learn
Okay.
AWS also. Perfectly
Okay.
learn whatever we are learning. Prepare your resume.
Okay.
Okay, the moment
So
you place your resume in the
yes.
job portals,
Yeah.
you will start receiving the calls.
Okay.
If you are perfect with whatever you are learning, please, you will be clearing the calls and then you will get the offer. That's the process.
Okay. Okay. Yes, sir. And one more
Okay,
thing, sir. Is the resume preparing will going to happen
we will
after
help
the end
you.
of the?
Yeah, you are right. Not
Okay.
before, right? You
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
to
Yeah. Like
complete the
after
course.
the end of the course. Yeah.
Correct, correct.
Yeah. 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 Thanks.
Okay, yeah,
Thanks.
thank
Thank
you.
you, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Good morning, Swati. Can you hear me, Swati? You are now allowed to unmute. You can see your hand raised. I can see your hand raised. Govindraj.
Am I audible, Sunil?
Yes, you are audible. How are you doing?
I'm doing very good, Sunil. Sunil, I'm working as a QA manager in one of the MNC.
Mm,
How this course would help me in future?
okay.
Can you just be? I'm into
If
telecom domain basically.
Okay, if you are planning to shift from the QA platform to another platform, definitely it will help you. Okay. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
if you want to stick to existing QA platform, existing testing platform, if you want
Uh-huh.
to continue, then this will not help. This will help if you want to change your technology. You have the complete experience in the QA technology, right, Govindraj?
Yeah. Yeah.
If you are planning to change from the QA to other platform,
Mm-hmm.
then definitely by learning this course, you can shift your platform from QA to a DevOps engineer.
Okay.
If that is
And
your aim, this course will help you.
okay.
Because there are a
This
lot
so.
of participants from the previous students, Govindraj, who have
Mm-hmm.
successfully changed their technology from testing, manual testing to QA, or from QA to DevOps roles or cloud engineers positions. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
So if that is your requirement, definitely this will help you. This
Okay.
course will help you.
Okay. That AWS course
You-
uh, is mandatory for this course. Means we have to
It
finish that and
is
come here.
it is not mandatory, even though you
Ah,
are zero in AWS. For DevOps, for DevOps, only 10% of the AWS knowledge is required. Okay, to
right.
understand DevOps. The 10% I'll cover in this particular course. Okay,
Great.
but
Yeah.
but in the interview, once you go to a DevOps engineer as an interview, they'll ask you questions on AWS also. So that's the reason I recommend you to learn AWS Solutions Architect course.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Not before,
Yeah.
maybe after DevOps also you can learn AWS course also. Both the course you have to learn it. Okay,
Right.
Govind?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Many participants learn DevOps and then learn AWS as a second course, or people learn AWS first and then come to DevOps. But finally, you have to be comfortable with both the technologies. So because you will be asked questions on both courses. Rangaswamy.
Hi Sunil. Currently working as a Salesforce developer.
Mhm.
Just wanted to upskill my uh,
Okay,
cloud side. In my project, like they are implementing some, they are using some DevOps kind of stuff. So just I wanted to learn here.
good, good. Because DevOps methodology can be implemented on any platform, Rangaswamy. It could be
Yeah,
Salesforce
we,
or
we,
what.
we we are using that one.
Yes, yes. May I know which tools your organization are using?
Exactly, I don't know, but some of
Mm-hmm.
the team is using. We are
So
using actually in my organization. Uh, Azure DevOps are
is used.
yeah.
Okay, okay, okay. No problem. Okay. So the tools will remain the same. The underlying cloud platforms differ. So definitely
And
this will help you.
one more, Sunil, like how is the current job market? Because people are telling for one job more than 20 people are there, like that.
Mhm. So job market is good. Okay. When you see that there are more number of resumes specific to one technology, what does that mean? That means the technology is doing good, isn't it, Rangaswamy?
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
If many people are learning a technology, what does that mean? Indirectly, it means that there is a lot of demand for that particular technology, isn't it, Rangaswamy?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So only thing is that skills are important.
I
The
understand.
right skills definitely will, right profile will definitely get the opportunity. Okay.
Understand.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll have one more final call and then we will get into the plan for today's session. And then we'll also have interaction later also. Okay. Final call before moving on. Yes, Gautami.
Yeah, hi Sunny.
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. I'm working as a QA. I
Hmm.
have 7 years experience in IT. So I want to switch my technology.
Okay. So did anybody recommend DevOps? Because there are a lot of technologies in the market. Any specific reason?
Yes. So many people recommended DevOps. That's why I choose this.
Okay. How do you know about this institute?
One of my friend gave your number, and yesterday we contacted you, my husband.
Okay. You are the same person.
Yeah.
Okay, Gautami. All the best. Okay.
Okay.
Keep going. Okay. So participants, I can see many other people raising their hands. Okay. So don't worry. We will have discussion again, maybe in the middle of the session or in the end of the session. Okay. So let's understand about DevOps. Let's try to understand about DevOps. Okay. Now, before getting into explaining what is DevOps, I want to have an understanding. I want to have an understanding about SDLC. Before explaining you what is DevOps, I want to have some discussion on SDLC. Stands for Software Development Lifecycle. What does that mean? What do you mean by Software Development Lifecycle? Please have a look at it. You have a client. Assuming an ICICI Bank. Client, assuming an ICICI Bank, needs an internet banking application to their customers. A banking organization needs an internet banking application to their customers. So typically what they do, the clients will reach IT companies like Infosys or whatever it is, TCS or whatever it is. Typically client will reach to the IT companies explaining their requirements. The software development companies take the requirements from the clients and deliver the product to the customer. They take the requirements from the client and deliver the product. Typically, this is what happens in the IT organization. Clients give the requirement to the software companies. Software companies will take the requirements and then as per the requirements given by the client, they build the product and deliver the product to the client. This is what happens in the IT industry, right? When software development companies like Infosys or Wipro, whatever it is, they take the requirements from the client. They take the requirements of the client. They have to start developing the product. They have to start developing the product. Developing a product cannot be an ad hoc process. There is a proper streamlined methodology of developing a particular product or a project. There is a perfect method using which a product will be developed and delivered to the customer. The perfect approach, there are different approaches. There is a professional approach in building a particular product and delivering to the customer. That professional approach of building a particular product and delivering a product to the customer is nothing but software development lifecycle. Software development lifecycle is a process. You want to build a very big building of 20 floors building. There will be a professional approach of building a particular construction. In the same way, in building a particular product, in developing a particular product, there will be streamlined approaches. So those streamlined approaches are nothing but software development lifecycle process. And there are two more, and there are a lot of models in software development lifecycle. There are a lot of models. That means there are a lot of approaches. We have, in this session, I want to restrict myself to waterfall model and agile model. You can deliver product in waterfall model. You can build and deliver a product in the waterfall model. Software companies can build and deliver the product using agile model. There are some other models like spiral model. We have V model. There are several models. That means there are several approaches in building a particular product and delivering it to the customer. Out of the several models available, I'm restricting myself with respect to two popular models, but the most important popular models are waterfall model and agile model. I'm restricting myself with respect to two models, waterfall model and agile model. To start with, first on a high level, I'll explain what is waterfall model. On a high level, I'll explain what is waterfall. How products are built and delivered using the waterfall model. So we'll have an understanding on a waterfall model. Once we have an understanding on the waterfall model is suffering with some disadvantages. Waterfall model is having problem with some, it's suffering with some disadvantages. We'll also have a discussion about understanding about what's the problem with the waterfall model. And then we move on to next model called as an agile model. The most popular model as of now worldwide is an agile model. Almost all the software companies are using agile model for building the product and delivering the product to customer. The most best model, the most highly used model as of now in the world is agile model. So, but before getting into agile model, let's have some interaction with the let's have understanding about the waterfall model, and then we move on to agile model. Okay, so let's start with waterfall model. Participants, the oldest model, the first model of software development, first of its kind. The first model of the first professional approach of building a particular product is called as a waterfall model. How the products are built and delivered to the customer using waterfall model, let's try to understand. This is how a waterfall model looks like. Requirements analysis, design, coding, testing, and acceptance is nothing but delivery. So these are the steps involved in the waterfall model. To start with, the first step is a requirement step. Not only in the waterfall model, every model starts with requirements. The first step in a particular product development is understanding the requirements from the customer. The software companies will have regular meetings with the customer and understand the requirements from the customer. The first stage is the requirement stage, which is very, very important. If the requirements are very clear, if the software companies will take the requirements of the client very clearly, if the requirements are very clear, obviously then the final product, what the companies will deliver to the clients is also based on the requirements. If the requirements are wrong, we end up delivering the wrong product to the customer. If the requirements are wrong, obviously, finally, the end results will also be wrong. So the most important step in the software development process is the requirements stage. In the requirement stage, there will be regular meetings between the client and the software organization. The software organization will clearly understand the requirements of the clients. So that helps in building the product and delivering the product. So that's called as a requirement stage. So the first stage in the waterfall model is the requirements. Assuming requirements gathering is completed. Assuming requirements has been clearly taken from the client. Once the requirements is done, the second stage is analysis. Participants? The second stage is analysis stage. Now, what happens in the analysis stage? In the analysis stage, the technology components are decided. In the analysis stage, the technology components are decided. Should we develop the product using Python? Should we develop the product using Java, or should we develop the product using .NET? What should be the database? Should we use Oracle database for this particular product? Should we use MongoDB? Or should we use Microsoft SQL Server? What should be the database component? What should be the application server? Should we use WebLogic? Should we use JBoss? Should we use Tomcat? What should be the middleware? So this kind of technology components are decided in the analysis. After understanding the requirements in the analysis stage, they decide the technology component. So they'll understand, okay, let's build the product using Python and the backend as MongoDB. And the application could be JBoss. Are you understanding? So the technology components are decided. This happens in the analysis stage. After the analysis happens, the next stage, as you can see, participants, is the design stage. What happens in the design? The designing of the project will be done. In the design stage, the complete project is divided into modules. The complete project is divided into modules. Assuming an ICICI Bank is the client, that particular banking application is divided into modules. Savings account, one module. Current account, one module. NRI banking, one module. Wealth banking, one module. Credit cards, one module. The loans as one module. The complete project is divided into modules. Data flow diagrams, user interfaces, user experiences, and workflows are defined. What happens when a button is pressed? What should be the next page? What will be the user interface of the next page? How exactly the database should be designed? What should be the relationships established between the tables? How exactly the form should be designed? What happens when a form is pressed, when a submit button is pressed? Should we send an email notification to the customer? Once the customer is approved, we need to go to next page. That is called workflows. Approval hierarchies should be defined. So all this happens in the design stage. The first is requirement stage. Requirements is all about understanding the requirements. Analysis, technology components are decided. Next is design stage. The complete project, you can experience it on paper. That's what happens in the design. This is how the project looks like. The complete project is documented. You can experience the entire project in the design stage with respect to graphics, graphical experience. Once the project is divided into modules, once the data flow diagrams, the user interface, the user experience and workflows is designed. Once the design stage happens, the next stage is coding stage. Here comes the role of a programmer. The next stage is coding. Here comes the role of a programmer or a developer. The development team receives the documentation from the design team. Developer needs some supporting documents so that according to that, they will be start developing the code. Am I right? They should get some design. They want to have the user interface, how exactly it looks like. According to that, what should be the user interface? What should be the workflow? What should happen when a form is pressed, form is submitted? The workflow diagram. Everything they will get take the requirements from the design team. So the coding part, here comes the role of a developers. The developers will take the requirements from the design team and start developing the coding as per the documentation from the design team. Okay, so that's the coding part. Coding part is all about developing the code. Once the coding part has been completed, obviously, we will not deliver it without testing. So the next stage in the software development process is the testing stage. Once the coding has been completed, the testing team will jump into action. Testing team will test whether the application which is developed by the coding part, is it perfectly working as per the requirements or not. It could be manual testing or it could be automation testing tool, whatever it is. Testing will happen. Assuming everything is positive, assuming the application is perfectly working as per the requirements, then obviously the final stage is nothing but we deliver it to the customer. This approach of building a particular product and delivering it to the customer, this approach is called as waterfall model. This approach is called as a waterfall model. Very simple, straightforward approach. The oldest model in the software development lifecycle is waterfall model. Probably 2 decades back, 20 years back, almost all the organizations used to build the product using waterfall model. Yes. One of the oldest and one of the successful model in the software development lifecycle is waterfall model. So this is the way the products are built and delivered to the customer using this. This approach is called as a waterfall model. Now, currently, waterfall model is not at all used, participants. In the current industry, the waterfall model is not used for building a particular product and delivering it to the customer. The waterfall model is used because there are better models when compared to waterfall models. Before moving on to the one of the most popular model as of now is agile model. But before getting into agile model, let's have a small discussion about waterfall model. What is the problem with the waterfall model? Why waterfall model is not currently used? Waterfall model is not currently used because it is suffering with some disadvantages. The main problem with the waterfall model, participants, I hope you definitely know it, is that there is no concept of, look at this, the problem with the waterfall model. It is very difficult to estimate the time and cost for each phase. Once an application is in testing stage, there is no concept of going back and changing something. There is no concept of going to the previous stage. It is very difficult to go back. There is no concept of going back. That's why it's called as waterfall, like how waterfall moves from top to bottom. There is no chance of water going back, right? Reverse is not at all possible. In this model also, the reverse concept is not at all possible. What does that mean? That means there is no concept of going back. Assuming when development team is starting the developmental activities, design team should not make any changes to the design. It's freezed. As design is freezed, the next stage starts. There is no concept of going back and changing the design. We need to move forward. There is no concept of going back and changing the previous stages. Okay. This particular waterfall model is not complex, not good for complex and object-oriented projects. Not suitable for projects where the requirements are moderate to high risk of changing. When the clients are changing the requirement, this model is not at all suitable. Waterfall model does not encourages the clients to give new requirements. Waterfall model does not encourages the clients to give new requirements. What does that mean? For example, assuming that clients has given the requirements on 1st January 2023, previous year. Now it's 2024. Assuming requirements are given on requirements have been completed on 1st January 2024. As per the requirements freeze, the design happens, the analysis happens, the design happens. And coding happens, testing happens, and we deliver the project as per the requirements given on specific date. So let's say once coding part is going on, maybe after a couple of months, if the client says that we want to change some requirements, we are planning to add some new functionality, the waterfall model does not encourage the clients. After a couple of months, when client wants to add some functionalities or they want to change some requirements, this particular model does not encourage the clients to give new requirements because the requirements are freezed. My dear client, the requirements are freeze. You are not allowed to give the new requirements. We will be delivering the product as per the requirements on specific dates. That's all. Because when new requirements happens, again, the design should change as per the new requirements. Again, the coding will change. Does not encourage changes. They don't want any changes in the requirements. This is one of the most important problem with the waterfall. It does not encourages the clients or it does not welcome clients with respect to new requirements. The clients should not give the new requirements. They freeze the requirements, that's all. On a specific date. According to the freeze the requirements, they move forward. And there's no concept of going back and changing something. And the most important problem with again, one more important problem of the waterfall model is difficult to estimate the time. Why it is difficult to estimate the time? Because one team will be dependent on its previous team. The problem with the waterfall model is a dependency between the resources. One resource will depend on its previous, one team will depend on it, wait for its previous team to complete the work. For example, assuming that there are 10 resources for testing the particular project. The testing team strength is 10 resources. Now, when the testing will start, participants, when the testing will start only after the completing the coding stage. As long as coding part is going on, testing team will wait for the coding to get completed. Coding team will wait for the design team to complete their task. Design team will wait for the analysis. Analysis team will wait for the requirements. One team will wait for its previous team to complete their job. Testing team can start testing only after completing the coding part. If the project manager has given an estimate that they need 6 months of time to complete the coding part, so the testing team will wait for how many months? 6 months. The project manager has given an estimate that for completing the coding part, we need 6 months. So for this period of 6 months, the testing team will be waiting for the period of 6 months to complete the coding part. Assuming there are 40 developers, and the time taken to complete the coding stage is 6 months, if this is the estimate given by the project manager, these 40 developers will wait for the design team to complete. When the coding stage happens, only after completing the design part. If the design team states that we need 1 month of time to give you the designs, so coding team will wait for 1 month to complete the design. So because of dependency between one stage to other stage, it is very, very difficult to meet the deadlines. It's very, very difficult to meet the deadlines. If the code design team will not take 1 month, if they take 2 months. So these resources will be all waiting. One stage resources will be waiting for its previous stage resources to complete their job. So because of this dependency between one team to other team, it is very, very difficult to meet the deadlines. It's very, very difficult to meet the deadlines, and the organization is not utilizing their manpower to an optimum extent. Clear? Clear? This is what the problem with the requirements, the problem with the waterfall model. Does not encourages the clients to give new requirements. A lot of dependencies between one team to other team. It's very difficult to meet deadlines. So these are the problems with the waterfall model. So as we now had an understanding on a high level, the problem with the waterfall model, let's move on to agile model. Participants, most highly used model as of now in the industry is agile model. Okay, so let me explain you how is agile model works and how is it different from the waterfall model. Look at the theory of the agile model. Agile is also called as an incremental model. Agile model is also called as incremental. Software is developed in incremented and rapid cycles. This results in small releases, which each release building on its previous functionality. Each release is thoroughly tested and make sure that the quality is maintained. Agile software development method emphasizes on iterative, incremental, evolutionary development. If you look at this agile model theory, observe few important terminologies. Incremental, look at the terminology, incremental, rapid cycles, small releases, incremental releases, iterative, incremental, evolutionary. Look at this terminology. Small releases, rapid cycles, incremental model, iterative, repeated development of small releases. Now, what does that mean? What does this theory says about agile model? How exactly the product are built and delivered using agile model? Let's have an understanding with an example. Please look at this. Let's have an understanding with an example. This is what the banking requirement is. Am I right? Assuming an ICICI bank needs an internet banking application. This is how an internet banking application looks like. There are several modules, as you can see here. We have personal banking, privilege banking, wealth banking, private banking, NRI banking, business banking, small and medium scale enterprises, corporate. So a lot of modules available in there. This is what the requirement is. They need internet banking application to their customers. In case of waterfall model, we are restricting ourselves to two models, waterfall model and agile model, right? What happens in the waterfall model? Let me explain with the waterfall model. In the waterfall model, the first stage is requirements. In the waterfall model, the first stage is requirements. What happens in the waterfall model? There will be regular meetings between the client and the software company. Software companies like Infosys will have a regular meetings with the bank. They take the requirements of personal banking. They take the requirements of privileged banking. They take the requirements of wealth banking. They take the requirements of private banking. They take the requirements of each and every module. They take the requirements of corporate banking. They take the requirements of each and every module. Once they take the requirements of all the modules, then they declare saying that the requirement stage has been completed. Then after taking the requirements, then they declare saying that the requirements has been completed. Got it, my dear friends? They take the requirements of all the modules. Once they complete the requirements of all the modules, then they declare saying that the requirements has been completed. Now, what is the second stage after the requirement? The second stage is analysis. Analysis is not specific to particular module. Analysis is common across all the modules. Then the design team will jump into action. The design team will develop the design for the personal banking module. They develop the design for privilege banking module. They develop the design for wealth banking. They develop the designs for the private banking. They develop the designs for NRI banking. They develop the designs for each and every module. Once they develop the designs for all the modules, then they declare saying that the design stage has been completed. That's how the software development cycle waterfall model says. Stage after the stage, requirements. They declare saying the requirements has been completed. Design completed. Or designing of all the modules is completed. Once designing is completed, next what happens? The coding team will jump into action. Coding team will perform coding for personal banking, coding for privilege banking, coding for wealth banking, coding for private banking, coding for NRI banking. Like this, they complete the coding for all the modules. They complete the coding for all the modules. Once the coding has been completed for all the modules, then they declare saying that, okay, coding part has been completed. Now, testing team will jump into action. They test for module 1, they test module 2, they test module 3, they test module 4, they test module 5, they test all the modules. And once testing has been completed, then they declare saying that the testing has been completed. And then we deliver all the modules at once to the customer. The entire project will be delivered at once. This is what happens in the agile model. Requirements, design completed, coding completed, coding for the entire modules has been completed, testing for the entire modules has been completed, and then they deliver the entire modules and the entire project at once to the customer. This is what happens in the waterfall model. Whereas the way the product is developed using agile model is interesting and it is very much different. Please observe carefully what happens in the agile model. Participants, please understand carefully what happens in the agile model. In the agile model, obviously, the first stage is requirements. They take the requirements of personal banking. They take the requirements of the personal banking. Once the requirements is completed from the personal banking, the requirements team will move to the next module, the privilege banking. The requirements team will move to the next module, that is privilege banking. Meanwhile, design team, they will not wait. Design team, as one module is completed, design team will be working on the first module. In waterfall model, when the design team will start designing after completing all the modules, whereas in the agile model, it's different. The verticals are different. So here there are two teams in action. The requirements team will be busy working with privilege banking, where the design team, as the requirements for the first module is completed, the design team will start designing the personal banking. Clear? So both the teams are in action parallelly. If you look at the next iteration, assuming the requirements of the privilege banking is completed, the requirements team will go to wealth banking. Design team, assuming design team has been completed with the personal banking, so design team will start designing the privilege banking. As designs are completed for the first module, the development team will start developing working on the first module. So how many teams are in action parallelly? The complete workforce is in action. All the teams are busy. Requirements team is busy taking the requirements of the module 3. Design team is busy. They're designing module 2. Development team is busy. They're developing module 1. You are breaking the dependencies. Your maximum resources are busy in the project. Now look at the next stage. Requirements team will taking the requirements of the private banking. Design team busy designing the wealth module. Development team, assuming they have completed first module, development team busy developing the second module. Testing team busy because they're testing the first module. because one module development is completed, right? Testing team will be busy testing the module 1. Second iteration, requirements team busy with the NRI module, design team busy with private banking, development team busy with developing wealth banking, testing team busy with testing the requirements module. First module is tested. It's all assuming the first module is positive. Then we deliver the first module to the customer. There is no hard and fast rule that all the modules should be delivered at once to the customer. No. As one module is ready, we will deliver it to the customer. At least customer can experience how the module, how a particular module looks like. Evolutionary development. Incremental. There's no rule that if you have to deliver the entire model, at least clients are happy. Instead of waiting for years together, clients are happy because they're experiencing module 1, they can perform some end user testing. Are you understanding? So what's happening here, participants? Please observe. The entire workforce is action. You can see a tremendous, you can see the tremendous utilization of resources for a particular organization. It's very easy to meet deadlines because you're breaking the dependencies. The complete workforce is in action. Every team is busy with a particular module. So this way, you can speed up the delivery process. You can easily meet the deadlines to the customers. And moreover, Agile encourages the clients to give new requirements. The model is very, very flexible. The agile model encourages the new requirements. If the client changes the requirements, the new requirements will be incorporated, and this particular cycle is repeated again. For the new requirements, they'll be changing the design. As per the change in the design, they change the code and test it, and we deliver the next version of the particular module. Very, very robust enough. Entire workforce is in action. Very easy to meet deadlines. Because of these advantages, my dear friends, am I clear in explaining how the product is delivered? Please respond in the chat box. Have you experienced on a high level the way the waterfall model works and the way agile model works? If you observe the agile model, the complete workforce is in action. Testing team is busy. Development team is busy. Coding design team is busy. Requirements team is also busy. So everyone are busy with specific to module. And then we deliver module by module. That's what Agile and encourages the clients to give, yes, bits and pieces of work. Evolutionary software is built using rapid cycles. Incremental model. I hope you are now understanding the theory of Agile. These are the terminologies used in Agile, right? Have you observed? These are the terminologies used in Agile, right? Evolutionary, incremental, iterative. Iterative, when client gives the new requirements, we'll iterate the cycle again. That's all. Clear? So I hope by this time of just understanding a half an hour an agile model, you are very convinced how it is completely different from the waterfall. Okay. Okay. So if waterfall model takes 2 years of time, assuming if waterfall model takes 2 years of time to build a particular product and deliver it, the same model, you can just build it in less than 1 year in case of agile. If a product to be built and delivered using waterfall model takes 2 years, assuming the same product with same quality, you can deliver it in less than 1 year when you're using agile model. So when you can develop the products at much more faster rate, software companies are happy because you are utilizing the manpower to maximum extent. Client is happy because they are getting their particular product as per the committed date. When software companies are happy, when clients are happy, so obviously everybody will use agile model. Clear about this? So agile model has given a tremendous revolution in the software development lifecycle with respect to building the products and delivering the products to a customer. Now, participants, our concept is DevOps, right? Today is day 1 of DevOps. You may have a question, Sunil, this is the DevOps course, not a software development lifecycle course. Why are you discussing about this software development lifecycle? Yes. there's lot of importance in the software development lifecycle with respect to DevOps methodology. The point here is when compared to waterfall model, agile model is speed enough because it is helping the entire workforce is in action. You can experience a speeder rate of development of building a particular product and delivering it to the customer. But now the industry is in such a way, clients are not ready to wait for 1 year also. When compared to waterfall model, agile model is speed enough. But now the industry is, they're not ready to wait for 1 year. When a software company says that we have understood your product and we will deliver it in 1 year, even 1 year is long time now. Clients are not ready to wait for 1 year. They are giving the requirements now. They want the software to be delivered in just 4 months. In such a faster rate, clients are expecting their products to be delivered. In such a faster rate, the products are expected to be delivered. When compared to waterfall model, okay, agile is speed enough. But now, even 1 year is a long time. Clients are expecting their products to be built and delivered in just 3 months or 4 months. Much more faster way of development is expected from the client. So the software companies have done research work. Top 50 companies in the world have done a research work for a period of 5 years to understand the reason for the delay. Whether it is waterfall model or agile model or V model or spiral model. Practically, research work has done to understand the reason for the delay. That's what now the discussion is. Look at this. In spite of any model what the clients are expecting, but still there is a delay in the software development process. Even though agile model is used, after doing a research work in the agile model or any model, there is some reason for the delay. And now the statement is the reason for the delay is the problem statement is the reason for the delay is that gap between development team and operations team. This is causing the delay. After IT companies doing a research work to understand the reason why the development time is taking, their product building and delivering is delayed, is because of one simple statement, the gap between development team and operations team. This gap is causing the delay. So we have to understand what do you mean by this statement, gap between development team and our operations team. If you want to understand this statement, participants, if you want to understand this statement, you have to understand two important terminologies. One is development team, the other one is operations team. If you are very clear in understanding these two terminologies, this problem will be very clear. Our plan is to understand the statement gap between development team and operations team. To understand this statement, we have to have understanding on development team and operations team. To start with, let's try to understand the development team. What do you mean by development team? Very simple and easy to visualize. Development team is nothing but group of developers. Am I right? Nothing special. Very simple, Sunil. What is the development team is group of developers. If the group of Java developers involved in a specific product, that's called as a development team. Okay, you're right. Development team is very easy to understand. Their responsibility is to start writing the code and making sure that they'll build a particular module as per the requirements. So that's what the development team is. Participants who are from non-IT background, it's very, very important for you to understand what you mean by operations team. Let's try to understand what you mean by operations team. What is operations team? What will be the day-to-day responsibilities of an operations team? Look at this. Please look at this. Assuming a small IT organization, IT company of 100 employees. There are a lot of small companies around, isn't it? Assuming a small company of 100 resources, 100 employees in an IT company. 100 resources working for a particular software company. There are a lot of small companies of 100 employees. There are companies with 50 employees. Small companies are also available, isn't it? Assuming a small company of 100 employees in our organization, do you think right from first employee to last employee, everybody is a developer? When I say 100 employees, 100 IT employees billing for a particular client. 100 resources which are billing for a particular client, involved in a particular project, assuming there are 100 employees for a particular project. If there are 100 employees for a particular project, do you think right from first employee to last employee, everybody is a developer? No, it's not right. Please don't be under the impression that everybody working in the organization or IT companies is an developers. That's not the case. Very big companies like TCS, Infosys, they boast that they are having these many thousands of employees worldwide. Do you think right from every employee is a developer? That's not the case. Please don't be under the impression that every resource working for an IT company is a developer. Probably out of 100 resources, probably 50 resources are developers. Okay, could be 50% could be developers, assuming. There are other group of people, there are other people who are not developers. But they are billable by the client. They are involved in the project. There are a set of people called as developers. We all know it. Developers will start developing the code. But there are other set of people who are not developers, but they are billed by the client. They are also critical. Don't think they are not important. They are also very important. That's why I have to mention it as critical. So don't think that only developers are very important for the software company. Only developers are great. It's not the case. Apart from developers, there are a set of people who are also important, who are also involved in the project. They are also critical, but they are not developers. These set of people who are critical, very important, but they do not belong to development team. This other set of people called as operations. Other set of people who does not develop the code. They are not involved in the coding, but still they are very important, critical, billable for a particular project called as an operations team. You may have questions, Sunil, what this operations team do? That's what my next slide. Development team, you can easily visualize. Okay, development team, they develop the code. They develop the applications. It's easy to visualize. What will be other set of people who are not developers, but they are very critical, called as an operations team. So we have to understand operations team responsibilities. There are a lot of responsibilities involved by the operations team, installing the server hardware, maintaining the operating systems, configuring the servers, configuring network, configuring storage. I'm talking about network administrators, monitoring the servers, monitoring the team, responding to the outages. In case if the server is down, who will be responding? Do you think development team will respond or work in case if the server is not up? Who will be responding to servers? Who will be maintaining IT security? Who will be maintaining firewalls? Who will be maintaining and point protections and all those cyber security and change control, backup and disaster recovery, production support? You need skilled resources to perform all these activities. These are less few activities, there are many more activities. What I have listed is some of them. Do you think without this development team, can they move ahead? There should be skilled resources who will be maintaining these activities. Without this backend support, development team cannot progress at all. Database administrators, system administrators, network administrators, middleware administrators. Cloud platform engineers. So these are all very, very skilled resources, very, very critical, which is very important for the organization or for a particular project to run. Do you think these are all involved in the coding part? Tell me. They're not at all coders. They're not at all developers, but they're very, very important. These set of people which are not developers, but they're very critical for a particular project is called as an operations team. Now the problem statement is why we are discussing about the operations team, because the reason for the delay is miscommunication happening between the development team and the operations team. There's a communication gap between development and operations team, because of which there's a delay in the software development process, even though you're using agile model, but still we are experiencing the delay because of this problem. The gap between development team and operations team. Assuming, I would give you a small example, assuming development team needs an Oracle instance, needs a database instance. Assume a development team needs an Oracle database 18C version or whatever it is. Then it is whose responsibility to provide the right instance as per the requirement? Operations team. DBA, database administrator, comes under operations team. It is a DBA's responsibility to take the infrastructure requirements and provision the infrastructure and give it to the development team. It is a DBA's responsibility. If the DBA is not available, the skilled resource is not available, all the infrastructure is not available, then what's happening here? Because of this gap, development team will be waiting for the infrastructure, which is causing the delay. This is a small use case. There are many use cases where we are experiencing a lot of miscommunication between, or gap, it's not miscommunication, gap between development team and operations team. This is causing the delay. So how to fix this particular particular gap? Here comes a new team called as an operations team. New team called as a DevOps team. The term DevOps, it is derived from two words, dev and ops. Dev stands for development team, ops stands for operations team. The term DevOps is derived from two important terminologies, development team and operations team. As a DevOps engineer, you should be very clear in understanding the day-to-day activities of developers and day-to-day activities of operations team. Wherever there is a gap between development team and operations team, you have to fulfill that particular gap using the DevOps tools. So that kind of gaps will never occur in future. Here comes the one more team called as DevOps team. The clients who wants to implement DevOps methodology, clients which are implementing DevOps methodology will be one. Traditionally in an IT company, there will be only two teams, development team and operations team. But now there will be three teams. Development team, operations team, and DevOps team. DevOps and its importance. DevOps is a method. It's a method. Like software development lifecycle is a method. It's a method of building a particular product. DevOps is also a method. What that methodologies do, the advantage of that methodology, it promotes collaboration between the development team and the operations team. What happens when there is a proper collaboration between development team and operations? This will help in deploying the code into production. Your products will be delivered live at much more faster and automated way. You can implement automation, which helps the clients to enable the rapid development products. Day by day, many companies are implementing DevOps methodology. Right now, all the clients, all the organizations are implementing DevOps methodology to speed up their software development lifecycle, to speed up the requirements, to speed up the delivery, to speed up if the client wants a new functionality using DevOps, you can collaborate between development and operations team. That particular new functionality can be delivered in much more faster rate. It helps in development of products. DevOps is a methodology, and this methodology can be implemented by using tools. DevOps is a methodology. This methodology helps in collaboration, and this particular methodology can be implemented by using the DevOps tools. Clear? So what are the tools of DevOps which we are learning? The prerequisite for DevOps is Linux, my dear participants. The prerequisite for DevOps, because all the DevOps tools, we will be configuring it using Linux commands. So every DevOps engineer should be comfortable with basics of Linux. You don't need to go in depth of Linux administration. You should have a basic understanding on Linux. So we'll spend 3 days approximately on Linux. And then we get into the first tool of DevOps that is called as Git. We learn about Maven. We learn about Jenkins, which is very, very important, which helps in automation in software development lifecycle. Jenkins, Docker and Docker Swarm, that is called as container and container orchestration, is all about infrastructure provisioning. As I just told you, if Oracle instance is needed by the development team, if the DBA is not available, that's okay. We can deliver the instance. You don't need to learn Oracle database. Even though you're completely zero on Oracle, by using this tool called as Docker, we can provide the required infrastructure. In case of absence of operations team, the operations team is not responding on behalf of them. DevOps team, you can respond and provide the required infrastructure to the development team. Kubernetes, again, orchestration. Ansible, configuration management. When there are more number of servers in the cloud, obviously there will be a delay with respect to configuring and monitoring the existing servers. You can speed up the configuration process of the servers using the tool called as Ansible, which will be very helpful for the operations team. Nagios is called as monitoring team. Terraform is infrastructure using the code. These are the set of tools which we'll be covering as part of our training course. These are the set of tools. We'll be starting with Linux and then we'll be moving all this. Once you are comfortable with all these tools, you will understand the problem statement, how these tools helps in collaboration between development team and operations team, how these tools will speed up the software development process. Clear? And why DevOps is gaining its market, because all the clients are implementing these tools as part of software development lifecycle. Once you add this, once you are perfectly learning this particular course, once you add the skill sets in your resume, if you're strong with the subject, if you're strong with whatever we are learning, it's easy. You can clear the interviews. As mentioned in the slide, the session like today we have started, I think 5 minutes late, but generally it will be starting at right time, 6 o'clock as per EST, and it will be 1 hour session approximately, and it will be Monday to Friday. Clear? Clear about this? Okay. And the first 3 sessions are the demos. Today is a demo. Tomorrow is also a demo. Welcome. Day after tomorrow is also a demo. So once you are comfortable in the demos, you can make the payment and continue the learning. Clear? I hope today I have explained. This is our agenda for today's session. I have seen many participants raising their hands. Now let's come back to the interaction. Good morning, Ravi. How are you doing? How is today's session? I can see your hand raised, Ravi. You are now allowed to unmute. Good morning, Monica.
Hello.
Yes, Monica, I can hear you.
Hi, Samal. So, I heard that DevOps team will use shell scripting, right? So, are we covering that shell scripting in this course content?
Shell scripting is not covered as part of this course content, but we are planning for a shell scripting workshop. Okay?
Okay.
It's for free. Anybody can join. We will be planning the workshop of shell scripting in the month of March. Okay? So you can learn from that particular workshop. Okay? It will be a 2 hours workshop. Okay? On 2 days. Okay? So we'll be discussing about shell scripting. Not as part of this particular course. Okay?
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Nagaraju. Nagaraja. Good morning, Rangaswamy. You are now allowed to unmute, Rangaswamy.
Yeah.
Sunil, no? Hello.
1 minute, Nagaraj. 1 minute.
Hi, Sunil. She asked my question actually.
Shell scripting.
I am fine for that. And I wanted to know about is there any particular shell script like now Go language and something else.
Bash shell is enough. Okay,
Oh, fine.
that's
Thank
enough. Yeah.
you. Thank you, Sunil.
Thank you. May I know your experience, Rangaswamy? You have any work experience?
7 years experience I have
On which platform?
in ITSM and as well as the now Salesforce 2 years.
Okay. Good. So, okay. Any specific reason why you're learning DevOps? Is your organization also implementing?
Yeah, as initially I said, right?
Okay, okay, you are the same person. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Prakash, good morning.
Morning, Sunil.
Good morning.
So, as I already told you at the beginning of our class, I already learned AWS. So, will it be same regarding to the tool Logitech, where we can view all the videos and
On the portal, you know, the Logic Labs portal where every day session is recorded.
right?
Okay.
So,
And like the same way, we will be uploading the recordings on the portal. You can play it for lifetime. And every session, whatever the notes which I'm using and the PowerPoint slides will also be uploaded and given it to you. Okay. The platform is the same.
so the same stuff we'll be getting, right? The certificate and the
Yes.
questions,
Yeah,
everything.
it's from the same organization. The process will be the same. Okay.
No. I'm just trying to know if there is any process change because it's
No.
took me like 7 months for me, right? So the first one and the
No. The process is the same. Every class is recorded and the recording sessions will be available in the platform. Okay. We'll be providing you the notes and materials for you also, whatever which are used in the training.
Okay.
Okay.
And also the WhatsApp group where your team created, we still did not get it approval, so it will be done after the
1 minute. No, WhatsApp group is already ready. Okay. 1 minute. I will share the WhatsApp group immediately.
And also the point of contact.
1 minute, please.
Sure.
There is a WhatsApp group, participants, there's a WhatsApp group created for this particular batch. I'm just sending the WhatsApp group in this chat box. Okay, so participants, please, in case if you're not in the WhatsApp group, please join the WhatsApp group using the link which I just posted in the chat box. All the updates regarding this particular batch will be it will be posted in the WhatsApp group. Okay, Prakash?
No, Sunil. So what happened? I sent a request for this before 3 days, but still it is showing as
Which
open
request you are talking about?
to join this group.
Okay.
So it's still showing me as awaiting approval.
This group does not need an approval. It gets joined automatically. Let me check. Okay, and I'll update you.
Sure. So that's it from my end. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Good morning, Naveen.
Hey, Naveen. Hey, Sunil. Good morning. Sunil, I have one doubt in Jenkins topic. Jenkins tool, we have that we covered that pipeline scripting understanding.
Correct. Obviously, pipeline scripting is important. Without that, Jenkins will not happen. We'll be discussing about the pipeline jobs.
Okay. And also, do we get in end of the day in any certification on AWS?
So if you want to become AWS certified,
Okay.
you have to apply it from the site. Okay. You have to book the slot, and then the cost of the certification will be 11,000. We provide you with the dumps, Naveen. Okay. Dumps are nothing but the frequently asked questions. So prepare the dumps before going to certification. Majority of the questions will be from the dumps. Okay.
Okay, Sunil. Thank you, Sunil.
Thank you.
That's it.
Yeah. Nagaraj, good morning.
Hi, Sunil. I'm Nagaraj.
Yes, Nagaraj, good morning.
Yeah, presently, I'm good. How about you?
Doing well, thank you.
Presently, I'm in domain in accounting domain and switched to accounting domain to IT domain.
Okay.
My brothers are both working in DevOps domain. Both are.
Very good. How do you know about this institute?
Yeah, my brother has suggested me.
Okay. Your brother is also in the DevOps platform.
Yeah, both are DevOps. Both of my brothers.
Okay, that's good. You'll have a good guidance from your brother also. Okay.
Yeah, but they told to join. This is a good advantage to me. But I have my doubt is one.
Yeah.
but I have already overall 7 years of experience.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say this domain to IT domain switch now. That time they have any questions? Why you are changing the questions last night?
See, you have to mention experience in your resume, Nagaraj.
Okay.
You
Yes.
have to mention at least 3 years of experience in AWS and DevOps technologies. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So because you cannot appear as a fresher. Okay. So you have
Okay.
to project as a DevOps engineer experience. So how to mention the resume. So if you how to attend the interviews, if you are perfect with the subject, you can clear the interview rounds. Okay. So
Yeah.
that's how your process should be. Not only you, anybody who wants to
Mm.
shift their technology, you have to project experience in the resume, clear the interview, and then you will
Yeah.
be into that particular platform. Okay, Nagaraj?
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Sanket, good morning.
Hello.
Sanket, good morning.
Yes, yeah, good morning. Actually, I have requested to join a WhatsApp group, and I guess the request is on pending. So,
Approval. Okay, I'll check. Looks like some problem with the settings in the WhatsApp group.
yes, yes.
Okay, I will check it. Okay. But the Zoom link will remain the same. Participants, Zoom link will remain the same. Please join the tomorrow's session. Tomorrow will be continuation of the session. Our plan for tomorrow, we will be logging into AWS Cloud, AWS platform. As I told you, the prerequisite for DevOps is Linux. So tomorrow we'll get started with Linux. We'll be creating a Linux environment on AWS. We'll be connecting to the Linux environment and we'll be starting working on Linux. That's our plan for tomorrow's session. Okay. Many participants are raising their hands, but we'll have a discussion tomorrow. We'll continue our interaction of the session in tomorrow's session. And meanwhile, looks like some problem with the WhatsApp group. We will be updating the settings probably so that you can join the WhatsApp group. See you tomorrow for our continuation of this particular session. I hope you have enjoyed the session. Have a good time. Thank you very much.